He probably has a hand like ace king. What I can do is, because I hold more jacks in my hand, I can turn my hand into a bluff, move it all in for 2x pot shove. I think that he's gonna find a fold. Welcome back to my poker vlog, where today we are headed to Las Vegas, Nevada. And this just isn't any trip to Las Vegas. We are headed there to play in Solve for Wise Poker Out Loud. If you haven't seen this show, why? Very innovative concept where everyone wears headphones, and when it's their turn to act, we talk through our thought process. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, there was a lot of 3 betting and 4 betting going on. It was definitely a very aggressive game, and I was in some crazy spots. There was a spot where I had 3 bet from the small blind with king queen offsuit, and I was facing a raise 4 bet from Trevor. This is definitely unfortunate, given that Trevor raised from under the gun. He definitely could be using his perceived tight range to his advantage here and turning a hand like ace 5 suited into a 4-bet bluff spot, thinking that I'm squeezing here. I'm more likely to call if my hand was suited, but I think it's going to come down to an all-in or a fold. I'm just going to fold here, and if Trevor has ace rag suited, Trevor, you owned me. Ace 3 suited?
What?
Ace 3 suited?
Ace 3 suited, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. And Marley opens it up again, this time from the cutoff. And this time I'm on the button with a suited ace. I decide to 3-bet this one again. And then I'm facing a 4-bet from Matt yet again.
Same thing keeps happening over and over again.
I'm going to go ahead and let my in-game thoughts. Definitely an interesting dynamic in play with this being a second consecutive hand. Also him using a fairly small sizing here. Giving me a very attractive price on the button with a suited ace. 200 big blinds deep. Just can't really find a fold here, but I'm definitely going to have to be very careful post-flop navigating.
So this board is pretty interesting because we definitely have an advantage, but Johnny probably has more of the nuts than we do. I probably don't cold for queen jack a whole lot, but I can have aces, kings, tens. You can probably have tens for sure. We can just pretty much go for a size that allows us to go somewhat small on flop, jam turn. It could be wrong. Pot's about 570. So actually it's going to be pretty hard to get it in on 2 straights actually. And probably start off with around 30% sizing. I'm going to bet 175.
I bet 175 into almost $600. Obviously we have a call here, but it's unfortunate that he does hold an advantage of it over us with the range. Obviously he has ace king, he has aces, he has kings, he has tens. I can have some queen jacks here. He obviously doesn't have as many of those. I don't think that he can just bomb with impunity here, because I definitely have some slow plays pre-flop. So I expect him to be fairly straight up with this one in a 4-bet pot. So I think we can safely call and evaluate turn. Hopefully we get lucky and hit a 6 or maybe turn a diamond. Make our job a little easier, but for now we have a call.
So this is one of those cards that obviously changes the nuts a lot easier to have. I don't know exactly what Johnny's 3-bet construction looks like here, if it includes, you know, hands like Jack 10 suited, Queen Jack suited, and that makes this card especially bad because he can absolutely. So for my range overall, I won't have a whole lot of Jack X here. I could maybe have Ace Jack suited, King Jack suited at some frequency, but besides that, I don't have Broadway a whole lot. So this is a pretty bad card, and one I probably am just forced to check and not really get 3 streets of value on this hand, even when I'm ahead. He also has Ace Jack in range. It's hard to know how much Jack X he does have, but it's probably a fair bit. So I think that we have to go into check mode here, and I'm honestly not that confident about at this SPR I am when I don't have a lot of jacks in range. But I do have sets, so it's a little bit unclear to me how wide I'm going to go. But I think that I want to be checking here and potentially getting one more street later, potentially getting to showdown, depending on what the action is.
This is a very, very interesting turn card because it's clear that he does not have very many jacks here. Given that he 4-bet pre-flop, the ranges are pretty narrow, meaning that he probably has a hand like Ace King, Pocket Kings, Ace Queen, and with the SPR being that there's about 700 in the pot and I have about 1600 behind. I can't really bet here on the turn and expect him to fold any sets or 2 pairs. So what I can do is, because I hold more jacks in my hand, I can turn my hand into a bluff and move it all in for over a 2x pot shove and put him to the test with 2 pair or set. It's pretty likely that he has 2 pair or set here. So it's just a question of whether or not he's willing to fold those hands. And because I possess a lot of jacks in my hand, you know, we can always hit the diamond on the river and get super lucky. You know, and that he's going to be in a tough spot. And I think he's going to call probably 30% of the time, but we'll see. Now, I know I could have just checked back here and try to realize my equity. Some have even suggested that I could have bet small here on the turn, setting up a river jam, but I definitely did not want to do that. I did not want Matt to feel like he was pot stuck and in a spot where he was just going to shrug and call it off on the river, which is why I wanted to maximize my fold equity and go for it here on the turn.
You got to count on that, please. I mean, for all the reasons I said before, he should have a lot more jack X in range. Like 11, a hair under 12.
1685.
Oh, 1685. Right, so there's about 920 in the pot or something like that. So this is like a little under 2x pot. My initial gut reaction is that when I try to put him on, I think that most of his hands in range that I beat would not pick this size for value. Hands like Ace Queen should want to navigate to showdown as well. Hands like Ace 10, if he ever has like Queen 10, King 10 suited, those types of hands, it's pretty polarized to a jack or nothing.
But my heart is racing, and at this point it's peaking at around 130 BPM.
And when he has a few hands in range that are 3-bets pre, can call a 4-bet that are like suited connectors, but when the board is Ace King 10 rainbow, I don't think any of those types of holdings really peel here. There's no like 9-8 suited that. The other issue here is like when I am behind, I'm just basically dead. I have 4 outs if I'm behind. I don't think there is enough information here to suggest that I can be good, like a 2x sizing, to call here. And the part of his range that isn't straights would just never do this for value. So I kind of hate myself because I really, really hate folding, but I'm gonna let it go.
It feels so good to get a hand like this through. I was like, I think he has Ace King, but I think he's going to fold it the majority of the time. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in a poker room near